Hey, hello everybody, and welcome to Mid at Best. I am your host, Vladis. Uh, oh wow, what a day! What a day! Is the music loud? Sorry. Here, let's just go ahead and shut it off. Oh, I probably got to move that now. I'm playing with the the new chat that I have. So I put it on the left hand side. I made it go all the way up. Um, so yeah, kind of working out the kinks here. I think the one thing I kind of noticed right now is that you won't be able to see on your Twitch chat the YouTube chat, and if you're on YouTube, you won't be able to see Twitch chat because I'm trying not to use the restream chat. That's what I'm trying to stop. But you should still see like all of your, like if you're on YouTube, you know, basically right here, Nexus, I was vibing, man. Well, you can always go to White Bat Audio on YouTube and vibe out. I love their music. Pee-wee Z. That's probably not how you Pee-wee. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. Maybe. P-Z. Pee-wee Z. Thank you so much for the sub, brother. Thank you. Well, guys, today was pretty much a banger patch note. And so let me just go here, and I always get so confused with like the wordage. Because it's like, I know the PTR is technically under NDA, but I mean, showing a patch note, like, is that considered to be like under NDA too? You know what I mean? Oh, where are you seeing these update notes? So if you are in the Ashes Creation Discord, if you purchased a key before today, you should have access to the NDA PTR. And you can show the notes unless they changed it. Roshan confirmed before. Okay. Because I'm like, this is so stupid for you not being able to see just notes. Like, I know the actual game is under NDA, but these patch notes, like, they're literally just words. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you're not seeing the game through the patch notes. The name makes no sense at this stage of things. NDA just means non-disclosure agreement. So you basically, you were supposed to agree and sign an NDA stating that you will not share, anything within the public test realm. And it's like I said before, like the public test realm is more for the experimental, like very much not ready stuff, right? Is there stuff not ready even in the regular live game? Absolutely. But I think this gives you a little bit more of a sneak peek behind the curtain. And, they're still working out like certain bits of lighting. They're still working out like, whatever, right? I'm gonna ask, hold on. I want to say it is like you can show them. Because I mean, what am I gonna do? Like literally copy and paste it onto WordPad and and literally do it there? Like that seems kind of ridiculous. Like you can't show our forum, patch notes, but you can copy and paste it all and put it on WordPad. Like that's just kind of ridiculous. Let me see. Happy partner anniversary. Thank you. Very much appreciate that. Actually, what I want to do, since I can't see YouTube chat very well, I'm going to go to YouTube. I'm going to make a little widget for me. And I should see. There it is. Pop out chat. Bam. There we go. Now I can see YouTube chat. All right. Let me see. Happy anniversary. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. What Dusty does. I don't know if Dusty did that. I mean, again, I don't see the harm in doing that, but it's just kind of crazy. So if you didn't know today, we finally, I think they took down the live servers of Ashes of Creation. We're going back to PTR for more extensive testing before the 11th. And there were some huge changes, right? So as soon as Richie gets back to me, I'll, I won't show the notes until he says yay or nay. I'm pretty sure I can, but whatever, better safe than sorry. So this is now the updated notes for December 2nd, Monday. The first major section is characters, archetype, and so does fighter still suck ass? It depends on what you want to use the fighter for. If you're using the fighter in a PvE environment and you kind of don't care about PvP, I think the fighter is A tier in that sense. If you are a PvPer, then I would say fighter is probably dead last on the PvP. Like whether you think every class is on B or C. Hold on. Visual is for in-game stuff. Awesome. Thank you. And that's what I figured too. So let's go here. Should I blow this up so it's just easier? So again, if you're more of a PvPer, then you're kind of SOL for right now. But I'm gonna main fighter. I am. Fighter to me has some of the coolest sounds. The melee slashes, especially if you're playing like a two-handed anything, two-handed mace, two-handed axe, two-handed sword, some of those satisfying sounds. The rotation, I think, is a shit ton of fun. The abilities that you weave in, if you're a melee player, like I have so much fun on a fighter. And I think fun is kind of like should be your priority. But if you do have more fun PvPing, I think you'll be more frustrated on the fighter than anything else. So if you're gonna play in the PvP realm, I would suggest to play like Bard, Cleric. If you want to play melee really bad, Rogue is way better for their utility, what they bring to a party, but also just their being able to get in and out in a situation. So I would just say it kind of is what it is. I'll main fighter no matter what. Just sad. I'm maining the fighter. I'm not sad about it at all either, because there are going to be some more extensive changes come January and February, and they're going to be adding, the secondary augments, and they're also going to be adding a complete revamp on the talent trees. So the talent trees are going to be even better in just a couple of more months, or sooner. We don't know, but I mean, it's definitely coming. Any changes on fighter? Not that I saw earlier. I was looking. But let's see here, right? So let's go. Character archetype and combat. So we have reduced the amount of HP granted by equipment, and which explicitly grants HP bonuses. This was, a madhouse. So last week, people were having an upwards of like 25,000 health, mix matching certain bits of gear. It was just bonkers. And I think the other thing too that a lot of people really wanted to see from this note, if you already, if you're in the know, the more major contention last week, especially during the 1v1 tournament, was inner fire and ward, which is weapon bonuses that you get from the weapon talent tree, and people just literally couldn't die. And so there was just people, getting weapons with those two things and being invincible basically. So now that HP has been, reduced, from what I'm hearing is that people now can achieve like almost 9k health, which in my opinion is still kind of bonkers. But that's 9k health in all legendaries. So let me just be a little bit more, clear. This is all radiant legendaries that gets you 9,000 health. So, is it kind of crazy? It is, but you're literally in all legendaries. So I think it should be a little crazy, right? Had 43k on my tank. Jesus, you had 43k? Oh my God. I dropped from 1250 on Summoner to 8500 on this patch with no enchants given PTR gear. Oh, okay. Let me see, more like 14k. Okay. Wait, where did my thing go? Oh, it's right here. Missy, Dusty typed the notes to get around the restriction. It seems like a waste of time. Yeah, no, you can't. Richie, one of the content creators, been known for a long time. He reached out to Roshan, and Roshan was like, the visual NDA is only for the game, like in-game stuff. This is just notes. These are words on a page. Like, I don't think it truly matters. Hi Vlad, hi Chad. I missed the beginning. Can we start all over again? Hope you don't mind. Hi, welcome to Mid at Best. I am your host Vladis. Today we are going over the major patch notes that landed on PTR. All right. So 14k HP while not sacrificing too much power. Well, let's see, right? So they removed based HP, base mana curves, which I don't know how that's going to work. I'm curious. Like, I haven't even gone into the PTR today. Today's been such a crazy, hectic day for me, with the kids, with appointments, with things I needed to do, things my wife, she was working all day basically, and it was just me and my mother-in-law, and I was basically running ragged. My kids didn't even go to bed until noon. And I couldn't even stream then because my baby was awake and she was super cranky. And I don't think you want to hear a screaming baby because that's not fun for anybody. So now I'm here. Okay, so increase the amount of HP and mana gained per rating by 4x. I feel like HP ratings, so like anything that gives HP or mana is now like 4x'd per point. It's kind of hard. Like I think these things are like written by the devs, and then like someone goes to the devs and be like, hey, what are your changes and updates from your team? And they kind of just compile them all together to make these notes. And the person who's making the notes isn't a dev. They're just getting all their notes and, probably slips of paper or whatever and typing them all down. But I feel like I wish there was some clearer notes on some of these changes. Let me see. Reduce stats received from leveling by 10 to 15%. Okay, so I believe that wasn't that last week too? Did they further reduce it now? Because I want to say that was a last week change. The whole reducing it by 10 to 15%. Increase stats from gear by about 10 or 15%. And that was last week too. So that's an interesting thing. Davu, thank you so much for the follow, brother. Thank you. Hope you're enjoying the stream so far. Welcome. Let me see. So increased scaling of all stats by about 20% at the top end. So the curve got bigger. Okay. That's interesting. That is interesting. Let me see, having the starting chain quest is kind of nice to have, in my opinion. You see, yeah, it's a huge improvement on the top of the Destiny system, moving in the right direction. Yeah, I completely agree. I think the Destiny system is amazing. I think all they need to do is just keep implementing, keep adding, and hopefully that could actually be a legit achievement system in Ashes of Creation, because I think that would be really, really awesome. So you can have like actual personal leveling achievements. You can have like PvP achievements. You can have like profession achievements, and everything can be rewarding. You can even have vanity achievements for like maybe special cosmetics. And, we always talked about it before the game was even live. That wouldn't it be really cool if you earned an achievement and it gave you like a special character creator thing, like a special scar or like glowy eyes or, some special tattoo or, something like that, right? Like, I think that kind of stuff is really amazing, especially in a game that isn't pay to win, where you feel like every achievement is legitimately earned. That would just be amazing in my mind. How is 5 gold chain doing in Ashes or in Anvils? I have not done Anvils, so I really can't speak on that. I'm so sorry. The starter quests is going to be a nightmare. Traps you in the starter area for about an hour. On release, it's going to cause so many crashes and queue times. Yeah, and that's the thing we're gonna have to figure out. Like, again, I think there's like people here, right, that expect this like early access to be this like amazing thing, which it can be. But dude, I remember in phase 1, and I also remember, I don't remember when this was, but there was a particular time, I think it might have been phase 2, where it was like 5% of the population when there was one of the phases or like a major patch, like a 0.11 or a 0.10. where 5% of the people went in, were able to quest and do everything, and everybody was in queue, and we couldn't even log into the server. Like, it was like locked for everybody. And I remember people were saying like, oh, shut down the server, shut down the server. People are getting ahead of us and people are, you know, moving along. And I remember still being in queue, and there was a person rated like level 7 and they literally wiped it. Like, they said, all right, guys, we're going to take down the whole server. We're going to fix this issue and we're going to wipe again. And that's when people were like, oh, thank you so much. So stuff like that can happen. I don't want to sugarcoat this and being like, well, Intrepid is going to try their best, which they are, but real shit can happen. You know what I mean? We could legitimately not even log in on the 11th. The servers could just be, they could be experiencing critical error after critical error after critical error. And, you know, we might not even be able to play, you know, which can cause like a whole thing on its own, right? But I'm just saying that's a very realistic thing, because you have to understand the amount of people we're going to be getting this time around is going to be by far the most in any of the phases, in my opinion, even phase 1. Let me see. Happy partner anniversary. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you. By starter area, I mean Lion's Hold and Samia's Hope. No, yeah, I understand. And this is why I kept saying to remove like the Sweat of Your Brow quest, because the Sweat of Your Brow quest for a brand new player that has never done it before is literally going to take them probably 30 minutes, you know, legitimately. Like, I know what I'm doing myself, and to complete that start to end for me, I timed it was like 7 minutes. So yeah, you think of someone that doesn't know what to do or where to go, and even the UI or the quest markers on your minimap are also causing confusion for you. Like, yeah, it's going to be, you know, a shit show. And thank God they're actually retiring that quest. I don't know if they did that already. I don't know how you're going to get your crew tools, if that's a change now. I don't know. But I personally just say, like, let people have their crew tools right when they make a character. Like, I think that would be actually like really amazing. Yo, Vlad, let me see. Do you think I'll enjoy Ashes on Steam release? Never played Ashes, looking for PvP and a PvE good time. Well, Crow, I would say I don't know your MMO personality. I don't know what you really love. I don't know what you look for in an MMO, but this isn't even a semi-finished game. There's so many things that are moving parts, things that even myself, you know, I understand that are either placeholder or on a very 1.0 like base system. And there's a lot of like stacking blocks that aren't even stacked yet, right? So we just have a good foundation now, and now we got to work on top of that. And there's some we don't even have the foundation yet. We're still like evening out the dirt, you know, to kind of give an analogy. But I would say if you've tested alpha games before, I'm not saying early access, I'm not saying like some like PoE2, like truly like friends and family kind of thing, or like, you know, a closed alpha or beta from a game, you know, then you might, you know, like Ashes of Creation. If you love older MMOs like Lineage or ArcAge or EverQuest, I think Ashes could definitely be up your alley, because this game is a lot more punishing than, let's say, World of Warcraft or, you know, Final Fantasy 14 or Guild Wars 2. So Sweat of Your Brow is gone. Interesting. So how do you get your crew tools? It's already changed in the Lion's Hole PTR. You get them quite a bit later now. Interesting. Why quite a bit later? Okay, well, we'll talk about that later. You get them at level 4 from the main quest line. Interesting. Can't wait till they add the gacha. Oh, that's all I want. That's all I want in an MMO. Not me. Not me at all. I mean, there is kind of gacha already in the, what is it, the metal smithing processing. You can literally gamba your basalt or granite into potentially either copper, tendonite, or like other metal fragments. And that's always like really, really good. Let me see. It's step 4-ish. Okay. Well, I'll have to do it today. Like I said, I haven't done it, so I would like to do it. You see, thanks for clarifying. I have a high patience level. I played ESO, EverQuest 1 and 2, and also played WoW. Well, I would say then if you are a reasonable person, right? Like if you are someone who is like, yeah, I'm willing to test, I'm willing to help them out or whatever, I would go really at your own pace. There's no reason to rush. There's no reason to get all excited. If you end up loving the kind of game or just like the systems, right? Like at a base level, combat is awesome. Coming from World of Warcraft myself, I love the combat in Ashes. Combat to me is super solid. If you're a tab target player, I think you'll love Ashes of Creation combat. Some of the classes I think play awesomely, like fighter, rogue, bard, cleric. I mean, all of them really. I think all of them do very well combat wise, and very, very, very visual and sound stimulating. You know, so it's truly up to you. I honestly would recommend, dude, that because you've never played Ashes, to wait a week after the launch of the 11th, because then you won't have to face queues. The world will be kind of semi-built, and you'll be able to truly have the starting experience maybe all to yourself. So I would really, really wait. But if you don't want to wait and you know what you're getting yourself into, then please, by all means, you know, join us on the 11th. But I'm just saying it could be a potential shit show. That's all I'm saying. Let me see. Roots are below, and you got to find them now. They are down at the bottom in the otter area. Interesting. The bark is the bark you need is on the beach side of Lion's Hold. Go out to the south gate and you find the purify the roots with it. Oh, interesting. There's like a whole thing. I guess I'm just like missing. Okay, let's keep going. Sorry. There's literally a lot of notes. All right, so slightly reduce the degree by which healing scales with power. Skills learned from all archetype skill trees now default to the next available slot rather than the pre-designated banks / slots. What? What does this even mean? Again, I'm not the most brightest bulb in the box, okay? So, you know, hence the mid at best. I honestly don't even know what this means. Like, what does this mean, Richie? Like, whenever you log in and you level up, like, what does this mean that it's going to go to the next available slot rather than the pre-designated banks / slots? That just, I don't know. I don't get it. For your hot blar, Vlad, some skills would go to bar 2. Oh, okay. So it's the actual abilities. For some reason I wrote skills. I was thinking the actual talent choices. Sorry. Again, idiot. Let me see, instead of the next available bar slot. Oh, okay. Okay. Sounds good then. Let me see, increased base mana cost scaling for characters' abilities. Why? Dude, that's the only thing I would say about the fighter. I love the fighter to death. But man, the fact that like a fighter relies off of mana just breaks my brain. Like I don't like it. I don't like it. It reminds me too much of like, you know, classic WoW in the sense of like playing a mage or a warlock or whatever. And it's just so dumb. Like you play a classic WoW and you play a rogue, it's like you never have to worry about like mana, right? As a rogue in vanilla WoW. But if you're playing any kind of like a mana class, mana just to me sucked in vanilla. It was just such, the gameplay around it just wasn't my vibe, really. That's why I ended up switching to Hunter, because I thought Hunter wasn't as bad because we used more of our auto shots for our bow. But man, I don't like the mana thing for the fighter personally. Let me see. Minor mana cost tweaks to certain character abilities that were overpriced in mana. Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's fighter. I'm hoping that maybe like a non-thing with the fighter. All archetypes now start the game with the starter, melee, and range weapons and offhands. But wasn't that the case already? I feel like on my fighter, I always had like a two-handed sword and a short bow. I feel like that was a thing that was already there. Phantom, brother, thank you so much, brother. Thank you. I know Twitch forced you to say that, but thank you anyway. Let me see. It's so bards can't combat swap builds, in my opinion. Ah, so one class does something stupid and it screws everybody. Oh my God. Well, the bards need to stop leaving the gum underneath the fucking desk, because I want to chew gum like a human and not some Neanderthal that puts it under their desk. I'm pretty sure these, yes, that's what I was saying earlier, Phantom. I was like, I think this is something that we've gotten before. Like, I felt like some of the, and this is again the kind of the confusing part, because for someone who literally reads these patch notes like every time, because again, sometimes in World of Warcraft, like they'll nerf something by 10%, and then the next week it's like again nerfed again because it's in the patch notes. So now we're like, oh wow, so it used to be 10, but now it's like 20% nerf for an ability. And, you know, I was just thinking, is that the case here? Like, is it another 10% to 15%? So again, just feedback for Intrepid, please don't replicate notes from previous notes because it really confuses at least the people that are really paying attention. And even if you are like, if you are going to put something, put like, you know, an overview of like, hey, these are all the notes we have for the patch currently. Some may have already been previously mentioned in past PTR notes, something like that, some kind of little disclaimer. Because when I don't have a disclaimer like that, I just assume that it's another added nerf or an added buff, if that makes any sense. I am here. Welcome, brother. My boy Royer with the scabs. Scabs, dude. Gotta get those scabs. All right. Davu, I'm so sorry if I didn't say thank you for following. If I did, I'm sorry. My brain's just in a million zillion places. But thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying the stream so far. All right, so now we're on to, let me see, Summoner fixed an issue related to allow dual defense and offensive target lock targeting setting so pets can properly get targets. Okay. Cleric Resurrection ability now properly has a cooldown and costs mana when cast with Divine Intervention or Divine Infusion. Ooh, I don't know if the priests like that or hate that. Pretty sure hate. Let me see. Cleric. The first cleric skill tree choice slot for Divine or Essence Infusion no longer costs a skill point and no longer requires investment to learn another tier 1 skill. Ooh, I'm pretty sure they love that. Let me see. Magical spears and one-handed axes will now properly scale all of their combo hit damage with magical power. Interesting. Let me see. How many systems / content do you think are being held back by the dynamic gridding bottleneck? I think 0. I don't think that's an issue for Intrepid currently, in my opinion. I think it's there's other matters at hand that they're really trying to get out. Believe me, if they had something in the can ready to go, like they would have put it out. Like and again, if there is some kind of a bottleneck, it's not due to dynamic gridding, in my opinion. I think it could be due to other factors. Just my opinion though. I'm guessing him at dynamic gridding bottleneck by like the system isn't working, but from what we've gotten confirmation of is that it actually is. That they actually don't have it on manual anymore. They have it on auto. So we'll see. You know what I mean? Let me see. Magical spears and one-handed axes now properly scale with all of their combo hit damage with magical power. Magical two-handed axes and two-handed maces now properly scale their extended finisher combo hit damage and with magical power. Physical wands now properly scale their beam combo hit damage with physical damage. Two-handed maces deal bludgeoning. Jesus. Sorry, you guys are probably like, oh my god, this guy. Bludgeoning damage instead of slashing damage. Let me see. Reduced requirements to reach adventure level 10. That was a previous note for sure. Rations are automatically assigned to the second hotbar when creating a new character. Interesting. Kalar and junior male hairstyles will no longer get visually bugged and stretched. Can y'all fix the female hairstyles, like with the balding? Like, again, maybe that's a super duper nitpick, but I mean, it's just kind of funny how you see these women with like these amazing hairstyles and then you just see the top part of their heads and it's all bald. It's just kind of funny. Let me see. Wait, 200 axes are in game now? Yes, it is. Drogue, dude. Oh my God. Brother, how have you been, man? It's been a while. I hope you're doing well, man. Do they have the 10 systems they ready to launch, but can't until dynamic gridding is ready? Yeah, getting 2 people in the same grid is a big ask for player population these days. I would say honestly that player population has been doing okay. I mean, I think sometimes it gets sort of out of hand with these kind of raid bosses because they had over like 50 players on, you know, a certain thing and certain janky things were happening. But I mean, to me, 50 players isn't really the thing to worry about, right? But again, this is going to be the slow process with dynamic gridding is that now that system is out, right? Because people assumed that, oh, once dynamic gridding comes out, it was going to be 100% optimized. Once it gets in the game, it's going to be a huge game changer. It's going to be completely finished. You're going to be able to have like 300 people in a given area, and it's all going to work well. So, of course, they were working on just releasing like the 1.0 version of dynamic gridding. And now that that's finally out, now is like, well, what does 2.0 look like? And then what does 3.0 look like, right? So if you heard Steven in the past when he even talked about the dynamic gridding part, or even the engineers when they were talking about it, they talked about it this like gradual process of like, this is where we want to get the system, deliver the system, and how we want to keep evolving the system. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of moving parts. I can see how dynamic gridding could cause a lot of bugs, but seriously doubt it holds up system implementation. Yeah, me neither. I don't think it does in the slightest. Let me see. The stamina tree has received a rework to facilitate specialization and more predictable outcomes in combat. Interesting. Point cost for all skills have been adjusted. Is this what we had already? I feel like this is what we had already. Because when I was, yeah, that is the same. Yes. Okay. Because when I saw this new stamina tree, and I was like, oh my God, my dodge is like completely nerfed now. I've been going more into sprint now, but I still dodge roll. But and again, I feel like it always could come back, right? But we'll just have to see. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna put it back up here. I just want to check my Discord, make sure that all right, sorry about that. All right, so let's go down to duels. All right, so duels can be started by right-clicking another character's nameplate and selecting duel, or by typing /duel. Guards will not intervene or attack players or attack characters who are engaged in a duel. Oh, so now you can actually duel inside nodes or settlements. That's cool. Characters must be within 20 meters of each other and not currently in combat to initiate a duel. If a character delivers a lethal attack, the duel ends immediately. The defeated character does not die, but instead recovers to 10% of their maximum health. Interesting. Duels are limited to non-combatant characters. A character can't duel if they have active PvP alignments, caravan, war, etc., or are in combat or on an enemy NPC threat table. Interesting. Okay, that's good. Characters must not be in the same party to duel. That's also interesting. Okay. A duel will end if either participant is attacked by another character. Oh. A duel will end if either participant is attacked by another character. Interesting. There is a 20-second cooldown before sending another duel request. Moving more than 50 meters from the duel center will auto forfeit the match. I feel like if that's going to be the case, then I don't know if there is or isn't, but there should be a circle in your minimap or something to indicate the center of the duel and know like where the end of the line is, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that's in the game or not, but I'm just saying if it isn't, then it is what it is. Let me see. Don't dodge, wear heavy armor, and take it hit like a champ. That's probably what I'll do. Let me see. You mean I can bug PvPers and stop them dueling? Yes. Let me see. Outsiders being able to interrupt a duel with damage is a bad thing. Well, I mean, and again, this is the thing that I believe you're going to have to speak and say your piece, say your feedback, and say, hey, I think this is a bad idea. I think this way could actually be a better system or a better feature for the dueling system, right? Again, this is a collaborative process, right? So we'll see what happens. When we getting the Vladis interview, bro, let me tell you, Steven is like me. I don't know. We'll see, man. I am always down to talk to Intrepid. I'm always down to have a conversation with Steven, Margaret, anybody. But I'm hoping soon. I mean, I know Dusty's having his in 2 days. They just announced it today. So yeah, I will, I'll keep reaching out to Adam and saying like, hey, where's my interview? But I know they're so freaking busy, and it's already going to be the end of the year. It's the last month of the year. It's crazy. My schedule is freaking crazy too. So we shall see. We shall see. But thank you, Phantom. Thank you, brother. Let me see. SFan, I'll put out a call that he wants to interview Steven as well before the 11th. Bro, I would rather have that. I mean, I'm a huge fan of SFan, and I think it would be really refreshing to see what a brand new player and their perspective on what they would want to ask Steven. Because I think that would also help like new players as well. Inputting Angle, thank you so much for the sub. Thank you. It really helps me. It really helps the channel. Thank you. And now you don't have to freaking worry about ads anymore on Twitch. So there you go. But yeah, I would love to see the SFan interview, man. SFan, I think, is a great interviewer. Let me see. Yeah, there is a clip of him asking. He wants expectations to be set and what AOC actually is at the moment. And that's why SFan's the man, dude. I mean, this is the kind of MMO player that I really respect because he truly loves the MMO genre, you know? And for me, for someone that has put thousands of hours, 20 years of my life has gone to MMOs, I want this genre to succeed. I want this genre to flourish if it could. And, SFan is, I think, a perfect example of being rational. Like, go figure, right? A rational internet person, especially a streamer as big as him. But it's not just him, too. I feel like Tim the Tatman, Summit1G, there are other streamers that want Ashes to succeed, that want MMOs to succeed at that, right? So it's really nice to hear that. We need Hornwood and Ashes with SFan. I'm sorry, I don't even know who Hornwood is. I don't know a lot of streamers. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't know a lot of streamers. Sorry. All right. Let's see. Let's go down to economy and artisanship. My favorite. All right, let me drink some of my. You have no idea what drink this is. All right. About 500 recipes have had the materials required adjusted to better align with the effort needed to craft these items with what items the recipes create. So yes, the one thing that I really loved when I was testing out a bunch of the novice crafts and overlooking a lot of the novice stuff that I used to create back in live, many of these things have been reduced. So the quantity of materials required to craft an item has been reduced, which is amazing. But I have not seen, and I think because I didn't get to because I was too busy trying to just figure out if all the novice stuff was done. But from what I heard is that also was in the apprentice stuff as well. So I haven't done that. I haven't seen that myself, but I just took it as someone's word. And yeah, we'll see. Let me see. Oh, okay, Fupo. Let me bring this over here. Jesus Christ.
I think it'd be cool to if we could get Steven on stream before early access launch and do like a like we could interview Steven, ask him some questions and stuff, and just talk about the game and kind of what he expects for early access of. See, we used to do stuff like that all the time. Like that's like the old days of like I kind of want to get back to that, man. Like I enjoy like doing the IRL stuff and kind of running around and having fun doing all kinds of random stuff. Don't get me wrong. However, I do miss like the core, and not the molten core, but like kind of the OG old content that we used to do, like even like the classic cast days, right? Like I like talking about video games and game design and all that kind of stuff. That's like that's always gonna be like my biggest sort of passion is just talking about like game design stuff.
Brother, I hope he gets his wish. Like I said, he's definitely a huge pillar in the WoW community, but I mean, he's also a huge pillar in the MMO community as well. And I think, again, it'd be really refreshing for someone like him, because I can try to set expectations all day, but I'm like a blip, in the overall MMO community. It's nice to know that, especially in the Ashes community, that I'm as, well recognized, which makes me feel like my years being in this community and serving the community and, collaborating with the community and giving my horrible takes to the community that they still just eye roll at. It's nice. You know what I mean? Like I always appreciate that. And I think there is a lot of brand new people that have been coming on that, have been wanting someone that they respect, kind of set them straight. And I think that could either be someone like Lazy Peon, but SFan, I think, is also a great example of that as well. Let me see. Sell me Castigator outfit. Welcome, brother. Welcome, welcome. Not even the sparse. All right. So we got that. We got the price of crafting and processing reagents. Yes, this is the biggest thing that I was advocating for. Huge. When I tested this last week, it went from 30 copper per one reagent, I think at novice, and now it cost 9 copper. And that was still, mind you, that was still with a 50% tax. So imagine that with 10% tax. That's going to be awesome. And I think I didn't get to see what the reagents were for apprentice, but I knew for novice what it was. But yeah, crafting feels so much better. Yeah, I know it does. And it should. Again, it's entry level. It's literally fucking entry level. And I think now, since it is going to be easier, you're going to have more people interfacing with crafting than ever before. And mind you, you know, again, I've said this before, like a lot of MMOs, you don't need to incentivize crafting because the questing just does it all for you. And I think because of the low barrier of entry, how widely available materials are, you know, especially in the Riverlands, you know, benches now are all in like the Avion's End or Avon's End. And then there's the Briarwood Farm stuff. Like it's awesome. And you have storages now on both of those places. It's just, there's so many big wins, you know what I mean? And this is what I'm saying, right? Like there's so many people that think, oh my God, this game's, you know, this game doesn't listen to the community, or the community gets completely overshadowed or whatever. Like, dude, if you only knew how hard it was to make a game, like, and again, I truly don't even know how hard it is either. I'm not trying to say that, oh, my experience of making a game, but you know, when I hear these people talk about it and my very limited knowledge of Unreal Engine, because I watched a 4-hour Unreal, if you watch a YouTuber called Unreal Sensei, he literally breaks down like all of the Unreal versions and patches and stuff like that. He's a really good dude, but he also has like an extensive program on like how to use Unreal Engine, how to make video games, and how to use the system. It sounds like a fucking nightmare. And I I can't even imagine what it's like, especially in a very collaborative like environment. You know what I mean? How is the PvE content of the game? Is there any raid/dungeons currently? From the videos I've watched, it's mostly out in the open content fighting mobs, kill 18 wolves. I know it's not finished at all. So in terms of what you're probably wanting, Crow, like instance dungeons, like in World of Warcraft or something like that, there is currently no instancing now, right now, as far as the testing, and there won't be no instancing even on the 11th. Ashes is going to be 80% open world when it comes to their dungeon and raid design. So a lot of world bosses, a lot of open world dungeons. So we technically have 2 open world dungeons, which is Tower of Carfin and the Befallen Forge, both of which are located in the Riverlands. And we also have now a couple of different world bosses. We have Tumok and we have Firebrand. There will be more world bosses coming out with the Scorpion that's going to be in the desert. And also with the Harbingers event, there will also be some world bosses there too. And then the Kraken in the tropics, I don't know when the ETA of that is, but that will be another world boss eventually. And then you're going to hear the term POIs a lot, which are points of interest. So when you go into the Ashes, you'll see points of interest on your major map, which is like like Highwayman Hills, Coral Lock, you know, Nickabrae Ruins, Remnants of Cephalian, you know, Citadel of the Steel Bloom. And all of these places are kind of like these, you know, if I can relate it to like World of Warcraft, if you were ever in Spelcher in Silverpine Forest, you know that one area where like all of the wolves are, or like the Worgen, like, and it's like this big town. That's kind of like a POI in Ashes, but we just call that little town like a POI, a point of interest, where you can go in, kill mobs, do stuff. But in WoW, it's more like, oh, this space is designated for certain quests and stuff like that, right? So that's kind of what's currently in the game right now. Let me see. I'm going to start playing Ashes on EA, and you're the YouTuber whose content and work I like the most. Congratulations. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Again, there's a lot of really, really great content creators in this space, man, that makes some really amazing content. I'm a father, like I'm a dad gamer. I am still trying to, not feel so zombie mode 24/7 because I have a 4-month old and I have a 2-year old and I also have a 9-year old. And I wish I can make more content, but there's people, there's PP, there's people like Richie SH, that make, Ashes of Creation content. There's people like Flanker, which I believe does really good content as far as explanation and things. Let me see. There's Nice Gaming. There's, I'm trying to think of like people making content right now. I'm sorry, my head's just all over the place. But I mean, you go in, you'll see stuff like, but I appreciate the fact that you want to come into my stream and engage and, have a chat, man. I really do appreciate that. Have you heard what the price will be for the game when it goes on Steam? So when it goes on Steam, it'll be $44.99 because they're having a sale day one when it comes out on the 11th that will last till the 25th. After the 25th, it'll go back to regular price being $49.99. Let me see. This update seemed to be a push in the right direction. The challenges are tailored to early game players. Steam early access ensures that they'll have the data. I'd rather the ground up approach this update brings than fixing/adding random things. Yeah, no, of course. I think a lot of what they needed to do was facelift the entire intro experience. I mean, I feel like for a lot of us that have been here since phase 1 and 2, we're very much used to it. We're very much used to the same rigmarole of going through these things and knowing where all the broken things are. But to brand new people, it's always been kind of a shit show. But most alphas are, right? Because there's just so much work in progress. There's so many moving parts. There's things that are constantly being iterated upon. There's things that are constantly in flux. That's just how alphas are. But some people just think, oh my god, this game is so not finished. And it's like, well, yeah, any early access game is very unfinished. That's just how it is. New players experience need to pop for 12/11. I would say if they keep going, because they still have this whole week and maybe a couple of days next week to really do some more. Because in my opinion, they really need to get rid of the quest markers that don't actually have quests on them. They need to add quest markers to people who do have quests that don't have quest markers on them. I think that is a huge, huge one. And I think there also needs to be a more streamlined golden path of questing than this fragmented Frankenstein, like, oh, the quest took me here and now I don't know what to do. It just stopped. Like, I don't know where to go now. Do I just go back and do commissions or what? Because there are like actual chains, that are all around the Riverlands, but they're nowhere, none of them are kind of connected. So I feel like if they can try to make them at least loosely connected, I think that will be a huge win, in my opinion. That is some basic shit to be needing to be done. No, it is. It is. And again, you have to realize that for a long time, the reason why it wasn't done is because it was probably very low on the priority list to fix. But now that we're actually introducing this game to brand new players on early access in Steam, which is a big deal, these small and significant things that kind of didn't matter before matter now. So these basic things is why it wasn't really fixed properly, because it just was like, yeah, we'll get to that when we get to that. Because it's like, what would you rather have, fixing quest markers, or would you rather have TTK fixed? Would you rather, like, you know what I mean? And this is kind of what Hector talked about, or the devs talked about, of prioritizing the laundry list of bugs and things that are just not right with the game. I mean, that's how it is. Have they put the quest back in that they removed for NPCs? I don't know. I have literally not played the beta today. I'm not sure. All quest change should clearly direct players that they are done with the quests and not just end. Yes. Well, that's what I mean too, right? Like I think quest markers need a little bit of a revamp. And I kind of talked about this yesterday when I streamed, is there needs to be at least 3 different types of quest markers. You need a quest marker for a quest you have not done. So it's like a brand new quest and that icon needs to be one way. There needs to be another quest marker that shows you when it's in progress, right? Like it's in the process of being done. And there needs to be a third marker of the quest being completed, right? And then of course, once it's completed, you need to be able to redirect them like, hey, this person over here is my brother and he needs help too. Can you go and find him for me? And that should be the breadcrumb quest that takes you from this point to another point, right? Like that's important. So exclamation mark, question mark, and a smiley face. Something. I don't care. Something. So this is an early release or still a beta. Marketing team's edginess again. No, this isn't either. This is an alpha. So this isn't, I know people get so hung up on this early access, right, for Steam, but you have to understand for Steam, they don't have a tag for alpha or beta. Like if a gaming company wants to put their game on there and it's not finished, the only option they have is the early access tag. This is why the early access thing, when it comes to players, is the definition of it is so vague or malleable. Like it's so flexible. And if you ask one person what they think early access is, and you ask another gamer what they think early access is, you'll probably get two completely different definitions of what it is. So yeah, see, it's hard to see. It's hard to see the map. They should simplify the map/UI design. Yeah, and I would say, please, like, leave that feedback. What would you want the map to display, or how would you want the map to display? Like if you are used to a more static map that you can't zoom in or zoom out of, like what are you looking for in a map? What are you looking for in the UI? What are you looking for in the mini map? This is great feedback. And if you have that feedback and you have a very good perspective of what you want that to be, go to the Ashes forums, go to the Ashes of Creation Reddit, go to Ashes Discord, and write a post. You know what I mean? This is, again, we always complain as gamers that companies don't listen to us, and Intrepid is literally a company that listens. Like, and there's so much evidence of that as well. So if you want to be a part of that process and you want to be a part of that engagement, then you have to go and you have to leave that feedback. Let me see. They have betas all the time on Steam. I don't think so. Even when New World launched in beta, it was still labeled early access. There was no beta tag on it. Let me see. This is the same as today. This is an alpha 2 on December 11th and will be 50% off and no longer have a 90-day return policy. Nothing else changes. Yeah, well, let me see. Well, guess I'll check back in another year. Too bad. Yeah, I mean, and again, I probably would recommend that. Like if you're not about like super early development, then you probably don't want to play Ashes. I'm going to tell you that right now. Save your $50, save your $44, go play some other games. You know what I mean? Keep your head busy for probably another year and come back, because we did get confirmation that the game they are going to try to push to beta by the end of next year. And if they don't, then it'll probably be pushed to 2027. But yeah, another year probably would be good for you, to be honest. Let me see. Excuse me. Some early access games are just that, an early access. This is super, super, super duper early access. They are literally still on the initial deliverables for phase 3 of Alpha 2. Bro, they're still on the initial deliverables of some items on phase 2. Let's be real here. So yeah, I mean, it's still very much early. Let me see. Will dynamic grading be in and functioning? Yes, it actually is in right now in the PTR and functioning. Is it functioning well? Well, there's still some hiccups, right? So like I said, just because the system is completely in the game now doesn't mean that it's in the game, it's working 100%. Everything about it is amazing. There's still some bugs, there's still some fine tuning they need to do, but it is in. Let me see. For me, EA will be an opportunity to test the game because the prices will be more affordable. Yeah, it will be more affordable. And again, even if you wait till launch, the price then is going to be way more affordable. All you got to pay is $15. This game is just going to be a subscription only with the cosmetic shop. So $15. If you love the game, great. Pay another $15 a month, every month. If you don't like the game, well, then you just wasted $15. You know what I mean? So that's going to be its own thing. Especially since it's a sub game, no reason to spend the money if you are not going to play the test or test the game. Yeah, 100% Phantom, 100%. Let me see. So added community crafting stations and certificate vendors to each of the 4 starting artisan areas, which is great. Added a unique citizen commodity for each of the 4 starting areas that can be crafted that location and sold at another artisan POIs or to citizen commodity vendors in level 3 settlements and higher. That's also another really great change. Added new toggle in the artisan page that which allows people to search recipes by ingredient name. That is also really good. The one thing that I have not gotten confirmation of is that what I would like is that whenever you get a recipe by a mob, like a mob drop, if you already have learned that recipe and I pick that thing up, I want it to say, you already know this recipe. And it doesn't do that now. It'll tell you, like, if you try to right click on it, it'll say, oh, recipe's already learned. But I just want it to actually be visual, like on the thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's just something I want. Let me see. I paid 375, save your 40. That's hilarious. I paid 375 too. That's exactly what I paid. I got my package back in 2021. And I don't regret it. I mean, I think that was probably one of the best decisions. I honestly wish I would have paid attention earlier. I wish I would have bought in 2018 or 2017. I don't know. This was probably the most refreshing time for me because I was really not liking World of Warcraft at that time in like 2019, 2020, mostly because of Shadowlands. But I felt like I was just kind of getting at the end of my rope. And I feel like the Ashes community kind of saved me in my sanity. And so as long and as the trials and tribulations of being in this community for 5 years, have there been? Absolutely. Especially as a content creator, especially as just a member of the community. It's been a lot of ebbs and flows, but I would say that I don't regret it. I don't regret it one bit. Are they going to make the fighter stronger because it's fucking weak, especially when they tuned the attack speed for fighter down? I believe they will. Like I said, all classes, in my opinion, all classes are on the table to be improved, to be fixed, to be changed, to be adjusted. Like, that's why I'm not really worried about it. But even the fighters being weak right now in some players' minds, I'm going to main it in phase 3. Like, I was playing the Ranger, and the Ranger to me is so boring. And I played Hunter in WoW for 8 years straight until I switched to Warlock. I can't with the Ranger. The Ranger to me is so boring. The sounds effects are lame. I don't have as much fun with it when I play my fighter. I have so much more fun on the fighter than I do the Ranger. Am I going to get demolished in PvP? Absolutely. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get trounced by either a cleric or a bard or a rogue, but you know, I'm going to have to learn, you know what I mean? And if I truly want to, if fighter is going to be a main or a main alt, cause I feel like it is for me. Like, I really do. Especially when second augments come in, I feel like, oh my God, I can't wait to play like fighter mage or, you know, fighter bard or fighter rogue. Oh my God, what is that going to look like? If I can put poisons and stuff on my freaking whirlwind, like, come on, dude. Like, what are we talking about here? That's going to be amazing. What about the second classes? I really, that will be a huge change. So that'll be coming Q1 of next year. So Q1 of next year, we'll see how those are going to be. And hopefully there'll be some really, really good changes. I really need to download that app. I think it's an app where it's like when you have an additional window, you can just do an always on top. So that way, when you click somewhere else, it doesn't go back to the bottom. I really need to do that. Any bard nerfs? Not that I saw. Q1 never. Year we will maybe see 2 of them and only half the skills. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, we're not going to get the full 64 class system Q1, but we're going to get the early rollouts of that. And by early rollouts, what I mean by that is we're going to get 2 schools of augmentation and only 2 archetypes, which is the tank and the cleric. So whatever 2 archetypes they decide to roll out for the tank, or whatever 2 archetypes decide to roll out for the cleric, I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be life or death on the cleric. I'm hoping personally. And for the tank, it could be something like, you know, mitigation. If you go watch a Copium Clinic, who also is another amazing content creator that I really love, he has really, really good videos about the 64 class system and about explaining the secondary archetypes. So that's also really, really good too. Let me see. Per Dusty, bards are now OP again. with the no diminishing returns on power. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Again, I think bards need to be a little more in line with, because I don't, to me, I feel like it's so overpowered to have all of this utility for your group plus a lot of damage. Like, I feel like you need to have one or the other. If you want them to be the true support, you can't have them be, a true, like, doing as much damage as like a rogue or a fighter or a mage. You know what I mean? Like, they need to suffer a little bit in that regard because they're not bringing damage to the table. They're bringing like buffs. They're bringing like other things to the table. So, I mean, again, it's all going to be a process. It's all going to be adjusted. We'll see what they do. They shouldn't be the best healer in the game either. No, of course not. Of course not. And I think that's going to be the thing too, that they're going to be constantly adjusting. I'm not a min-max player at all. Do you think that I can build a magic spear mage build? Because that's what I'll be going for. There is a pole arm, and you have to understand there's 16 types of weapons in Ashes of Creation, and you are not limited on what weapon you can use for any class. Like, I can actually wield a wand on my fighter as my range weapon, and I can use, what is it? A spell tome for my main hand. All right. Is it a spell tome? Yeah. So you can wield whatever weapon you want. There will be, a thing for it. Even as a mage, you can actually wield a two-handed axe if you wanted to. It has to be a magical two-handed axe, but still you can wield one. And you can also wield a bow too. Let me see. At least deal that damage should cost enough. Like, the should have to choose to deal damage or support the team. Yeah, I think so too. Again, the bard's it's probably gonna be one of the most complicated to adjust. Every time they've tried to do something bard related, it's like the everybody gets like, oh my god, the bard's dead, the bard sucks, the bard's this, right? Like, and it's just, again, playing this out for a long time, this is why I really don't get too close with classes, because I know everything's going to be in flux. There's going to be, again, once we actually have the secondary augments now, that could actually make certain builds or certain things completely overpowered, which then what are we going to do? Are we going to adjust the secondary archetype, or are we going to adjust the base ability for the class? Again, all of that's going to be in flux. It's all about how much power and HP are on the weapons, nothing else. Yeah, and I think, again, it's like certain stats, in my opinion, I feel like, and I was talking to one of my other content creators that, would know more about this than me, but I think there are way too many stats on gear, and it almost feels like an ARPG at a certain point. And I want stats to be meaningful in Ashes. And I think if this game is going to be complex, I don't mind complexity. I'm not trying to make it basic, but I think to start really understanding complexity, you need a rollout, right? And this is why you don't get, novice to grandmaster and from level 1 to level 10, right? Because it's too much to do so quick, so early. You're just going to be overwhelmed. And I think if you had certain stats that were only available to you from 1 to 10, and then once you go from 10 to 20, now it'll add 2 more stats, on gear that you can play with. So now you've already learned all of your base stats, like all of the most important stats that you should learn, that you should know, like dexterity, strength, constitution, stuff like that. And a little bit of other stuff, maybe critical strike, right? Like very basic things, like things you'd probably know from other MMOs. And then you can start getting and rolling out, some of the more Ashes specific buffs or stats or whatever, right? Like as we go on. So that way, because of how leveling is, and leveling takes a long time, you're really going to sit with these stats and the new stats for quite some time. And you'll be able to learn them and understand them. And that way, now that you have a good grip on like this much, now we'll add a little bit more, and now we'll add a little bit more, and now we'll add a little bit more. Like that's what I think Ashes should do, in my opinion, when it comes to stats. Agreed. Reduce the number of stats under the waterfall. Yeah. And again, I've already left that feedback. I've talked to the devs about it. Like, and again, if they want to do that, great. You know what I mean? And there's some people that, don't mind it as it is. There's some people that really love all that complexity right off rip. But I think, again, I don't want to cater to these extreme hardcore mid-maxers like super early on, because we're already kind of catering to you at endgame, right? I think it's okay if the game feels a little basic to you, even as a min-maxer. And as the game keeps opening up, it's not only going to be enjoyable for you as the min-maxer, but it'll actually be enjoyable for the newcomer, for the new player, and it won't feel as overwhelming, right? And I really want this game to feel like inviting, because there is a lot of things that I think could push a lot of players off. And Tano Beta, thank you so much for the sub, brother. Thank you. Very much appreciate that. I just, we all know we need casuals to play this game, for this game to survive. And it just really it baffles me that these min-maxers, some of them, not all of them, but some of them really want to gatekeep this game. And they'll say phrases like, well, this game isn't for you. Oh, well, if you don't like XP debt, then get fucked. Or, and again, I know there's going to be certain principles that just the player isn't going to like. And sometimes it's that one thing. Oh, there's XP debt. Oh, I'm out. Like, everything else in the game could be perfect, but I'm not going to play it because of that. And that's fine. Okay. And then go play something else, right? Like, I'm not going to try to convince you, because I don't think that's going to be something that Ashes is going to change. But I think there are other things that don't need to be as complicated or as bad. And it's all about finding that middle ground. That's it. Just a middle ground. That would also allow the devs to assign specific secondary stats as secondary class by default. Yeah, 100%. I think that'll be way better. It'll allow me even to figure out all these things too, because the other thing you have to think about too is the status effects. Bro, I could do a whole video, Flanker, Copium Clinic, my buddy Roar, Richie, on just status effects. There are an insane amount of status effects in this game. And I can guarantee you that in itself is a whole other ball of wax, that players will just be like, oh shit, so wait a minute, I have to daze a person, and then it becomes open for them to be tripped, and then I have to like stun them. Like, but how it gets so muddy, so crazy. As a hardcore casual, I for sure noticed the difference already. It feels good. Awesome. Yeah, that's what we spoke about. Agree, casuals need way to keep up in gear. 100% need the casuals, as they make up like 80 to 90% of the base. 100%, dude. And again, if you haven't watched any of Tango's content on YouTube, he is a hardcore mid-maxer. Like, he really loves the kind of game that Ashes is currently. And again, I want this game to be for him, but I also feel like the game should be for others too. And my buddy Wetstoned is a person who literally tried Ashes completely blind, no help. And, he from what I heard, he loves the game. I mean, is it perfect? Hell no. But he kind of understands the process and understands the journey. And there's a lot of things that I think he's, open to experiencing. Right. And I think I think if you just keep a little bit of an open mind, I really think you can have a real good time in this game. Again, speaking as a WoW player for 20 years, people always say WoW is the most Care Bear game of them all. I really like Ashes. I really do. Like, I feel like once a lot more of these systems come out, I feel like once we actually get better talent trees, the secondary augments, more systems, the nodes expanded, just more content, I really do think I can love this game. So I'm not going to say that I love Ashes of Creation, but I think I could. It needs more time. It needs more into it. I have never advocated for casuals either. I normally say suck it up, but I agree with most of what Vlad says. And yes, I love Ashes. I want it to be great. Me too, brother. Me too. And again, I think most of us here just want Ashes to be, Zyback said it in his latest video. This is it. It's Ashes or nothing. Because the only MMO now that a person could look forward to is the right MMO. That's it. And how long, dude, I remember people were literally hyping the right MMO back in 2020. People have been saying right MMO forever. But is anybody complaining that the game is taking too long to make? But yet the people complain about Ashes taking too long. Well, wasn't Greg Street literally hired in 2016? No, was it 2014? It was 2014. And then I believe he got on the project to start the right MMO in 2016. But, you know, yeah, Star Citizen 2 in 2042. Yeah. LOL, by random chance, your YouTube live came on my TV while I was here. Oh, really? That's awesome. You see, 100% agree. Either I am playing Ashes or nothing currently. Yeah, I know. Let me see. To see the hardcore mid-maxers wanting casuals is really a good sign. Well, I think it's because they know, you know, Tango knows, you know, others know that are hardcore mid-maxers. There are still people who play Mortal Online too. Not a lot of people, but once you kind of know the players in the community and you feel like it's just such a small pool, people just inevitably drop off because it's just it's too small, right? So there's some people that can stick around and their server feels lively or whatever. I mean, it kind of just depends on the kind of player. But I don't want Ashes to go literally in the same ballpark of New World. I don't want Ashes to go from 1 million players to then going to, you know, 50,000 players and then going from 50,000 players to 2,000 players a month. And really, you know, we can talk about the philosophy of PvP, PvE, hardcore, you know, min-maxer or complete casual. And I've said this before so many times, content is king, you know, and that's a direct quote by Asmongold. Asmongold said that phrase so many times, and I completely agree with him. There are two major components that every MMO needs to have, and that is good content and good combat. Ashes already has one of those things. The fact that an alpha MMO has really fun and engaging combat, which is fucking rare, is a testament on the Intrepid people alone. All we need now is content, and that's why all you hear is people. Sorry, Master Chi. Sorry. Let me see. I am a hardcore casual as well. I do not give a fuck about min-maxing anything. I play to enjoy the game as long as the game values my time. Exactly. And I think that's why a lot of people are also looking towards Ashes because, you know, you go watch Aeon 2, right? And see all of the paywalls, all the different currencies. And then you go look at Throne and Liberty and you see all of the mobile accessibility with all of the paywalls and all of the subscriptions, all of the battle passes. And then you hear a game saying like, oh, we just want $15 a month. And there's also just a cosmetic cash out for vanity items. No pay to win. And it's like, wow. Like most people will literally try Ashes of Creation. I feel like that is a realistic thing. Most people try Ashes of Creation. The one thing I will say about New World is New World never went pay to win. Dude, AGS, Amazon, bro, I thought they would go pay to win real fucking quickly. Especially for how much the game was just going down player wise. I thought they were going to add some major patch to like add some, you know, crazy currency thing or whatever, but they never did. Ashes or New World was completely, you know, you just pay your $40 once and that's it. No pay to win. They just had cosmetics. Terrible cosmetics, but they had cosmetics. So, I mean, it is what it is. Let me see. If I see pay to win or pay to convenience or any of that shit, I walk. Yeah, that's the difference. Is such that is such a breath of fresh air. Completely agree. New World was the cheapest MMO I've ever played. $40 for 2,000 hours. Yep, that's what I mean, right? Like, I mean, it's crazy. You know what I mean? I couldn't believe that they decided to keep it that way, really. And then of course with Ashes, right? Like I'm used to the sub model because I played WoW for so long, so I kind of don't mind it. But also, you know, Intrepid is also not a $1 billion company either, right? And, you know, I think we get very upset and very, you know, pitchforky when it comes to like, you know, AGS, Blizzard, Activision, NCSoft, you know, insert MMO company here because they are multi-billion-dollar companies. And it's like, we know you don't need that fucking money, you know, and for how many WoW videos that I've seen of Bobby Kotick getting his 4th yacht, you know, it sickens us as gamers, right? And I feel like, you know, with Steven and his philosophy of, you know, pay to win and his philosophy on things being truly earned was a breath of fresh air, was something that I really, really gravitated towards. And I just didn't want, we didn't want the pay to win. You know what I mean? Like, I know I don't. I know a lot of people don't. As soon as pay to win enters the conversation, many people literally just stop paying attention. Let me see. We just won $15 a month. Laughing my ass off. Yeah, bro. Think about it. A startup company needing money. Like, why? I'm so confused as to why startup companies need money. Like, why can't they just give Ashes for free, right? Like, I think if they did that, everybody would play Ashes of Creation, right? Like, if Ashes of Intrepid went and said, hey, we're just giving you Ashes of Creation completely free, I mean, I think the game would do fucking amazing, right? I mean, it'd be crazy. And a startup company would survive completely fine, a game being free that they spent almost, what, 8 years, 9 years developing. While employees are being sad at company events, Blizzard will never see $1 from me again. Bro, I've played WoW recently because my boy Richie was very kind and gifted me some time, and I really appreciated that. Thank you again, Richie. And you know, I feel like some old habits die hard, you know, I would say for me. And I think when it comes to um at least World of Warcraft for me, there's always like a special place in my heart for that game because I played it for so long. You know, I feel like I'm very institutionalized when it comes to World of Warcraft, which is another reason kind of why I want Ashes to succeed. Because if Ashes, you know, once Ashes launches or whatever, like I don't really need another MMO, right? I mean, I feel like I have a really good guild. I have really good people, fun people that I can play the game with, and that'll be enough. You know, um, they have to have a revenue source to do free to play. No, I was being very facetious, Master Chief. Again, you know, I feel like some players just get really upset because, you know, it's like, oh, this company needs money. And it's like, well, yeah. Like Intrepid is in no position to just give out this game like for nothing, you know? So I was reading a YouTube comment. I know you can't see it in Twitch chat anymore because of Restream not. I disabled Restream because I wanted to be able for Twitch chat and YouTube chat to show up in my to show up here, because every time someone commented from YouTube, it said Restream, then :YouTube, and then the person. So I did it this way to kind of, you know, you see like the YouTube comment or the Twitch comment. But yeah, I don't know. People just get really upset for companies asking money. And again, like, so do I, especially again, like these multi-billion-dollar companies that you feel like, I understand you need to make money too, but come on, you've made like fucking, like, just Blizzard on the WoW token alone, just that income alone has to be insane. I'm not even talking about the other currencies. I'm not even talking about the cosmetic cash shop. I'm not even talking about the box cost. I'm not even talking about the monthly sub to play the game. I'm literally just talking about the WoW token. And, you know, you have a company like Stevens, like Intrepid, that I think has a very reasonable request to play an MMO. And I don't understand why that's such a bad thing for certain players. You know what I mean? Like Final Fantasy 14 has a sub. World of Warcraft has a sub. I know Guild Wars 2 actually doesn't have a sub. I believe you just pay for the game once box cost and it's over. SWTOR has a sub. Like most big MMOs come from the sub model. It's a cover charge. Yeah, I figured something like that. I think AOC will have a place for me and WoW, depending on how the casual gameplay elements will be incorporated. If ever with AOC, the days I want to run something, I can pick up a delve or follower dungeon in WoW versus hours to put something together in AOC. Well, I think it just comes down to like what you're in for that day, right? Sometimes I think most people are like, for me as a parent that has very limited time to play a game in general, what I found to be my game loop that I really fucking love was doing treasure maps and gathering and really being an artisan. Those two game loops for me, awesome. Like seriously, anything else in Ashes to me is just like another, like it's of course I still want like good grind spots. I still want great character combat. I want great talent trees and everything. But man, there's so many times, and you can go see it on my phase 2 streams. I would just go and gather, and it's so relaxing. And the fact that Ashes has, in my opinion, very close, it's not there yet, but very close to New World Gathering and professions that you'll probably ever going to get from another MMO. It's so satisfying to just sit back after a long day of screaming kids, daddy, daddy, I need you. Oh my God. Like the whole world's on your shoulders, and I can just pop on some white bed audio, sit back and just fucking gather. It's so awesome. Like it to me that yeah, gathering is my zen. It is for me too, man. It is for me. I fucking love it. And and sometimes, I'll be in the mood like on the weekend or whatever, and I want to do something crazy, or I want to go and do some dungeons or do whatever, right? But I mean, that's the thing too. If you're taking an MMO at your own pace, MMOs can be such great content and almost feel infinite. I think most players get into this mindset of consuming content at a oh my God, what's the term? Like a glutton's pace, basically, like someone who just like, and you're just constantly like, end game brain, 100%. And believe me, I'm guilty. I came from WoW. I can have a very much end game philosophy, an end game grind. I want to do everything as quick as possible, as fast as possible for me to, okay, well now I got to sit down and wait for 4 to 6 months for the next major patch because I've literally done everything I needed to do. I feel like, and I've been wanting to make a video about this, like I want to talk to the other casual dads and let them know my experience, because the first thing that I've heard from a lot of people is, can I play Ashes as a dad? Like as someone, who has a family, like a full-time job, kids or whatever. And in my opinion, you definitely can, but it really comes in line with the wants. Like, what do you want from Ashes? Like, what are you expecting to get in your game time? Because I think some dads are very unrealistic in their expectations, but I think many of them though are like me. I think many people, want just a game where they can go in and feel viable, feel like they can actually contribute to the world and do things that are meaningful within your playtime. Ashes can definitely do that to you, in my opinion. I mean, there's been treasure maps that I've gotten, like rare treasure maps, and I've gotten like 44 heroic, like, Weeping Willow, or like 44 heroic copper. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so huge. I can make this thing now. Or, oh, my buddy needed this or whatever. Right. Like it's so nice. You know what I mean? And I feel very rewarded. And I feel now, because static rarity is gone. I know most new players will be like, static rarity, what's that? Now that static rarity is gone when it comes to gatherables, and it truly is going to be RNG based on your artisan stats, that's going to be awesome. That's going to be so refreshing to finally experience, and to experience it server wide. I think is going to be really, really good. I truly love the idea that servers will be different and how the towns and Vaseline work. I really hope it gets to that point. You know what I mean? Like I really hope. I feel right now I'm a little nervous for that currently, but do we have time to fix it? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I think what we need to really do, and what we need to focus on, is 2.0 versions of our current biomes, like Riverlands, Anvils. We need to start making more competitive POI spots in other ZOIs and other zones of interest. We need to really uplift, Halcyon. We need to uplift Nuela. We need to uplift Marilith to an extent. I think right now the two most competitive settlements is Jova and Winstead. And I feel like if we can spread that out, spread out the love a little bit, I think we'll be really good. And then there's also going to be, imagine this. So we still haven't even gotten types. So settlements will have types. So if you look on the map, you'll see that Jova or Nuela is a scientific node. And you'll see that Marilith is a scientific node, but then you'll see Winstead is a martial node, which is a military node. And then you'll see that, Jova is a religious node, or something like that. So there's basically 4 types of settlements. There is military, scientific, economic, and religion. And those will offer very unique and special bonuses towards players that are citizens of those nodes. So now let's have a conversation about the types of nodes, or the types of settlements. Sorry, I keep saying nodes. The types of settlements, plus having pretty balanced POI spots and points of interest. Like, what I would really love is that if you could actually have a golden path basically for all the ZOIs. So you can literally level from 1 to 10, going from your neutral, like the Cathedral and Lion's Hold, Semia's Hope, and going all the way to Marilith and doing that golden path. Or you can choose to go and do the Winstead golden path, or you can do the Halcyon golden path, or you can do the Nuela golden path, because then it'll truly be, well, what node's going to win? What node is going to hit level 1 first, level 2, level 3? Because there's going to be certain people with certain agendas on the server. And I think once we actually have, golden paths for each ZOI, and there's options that you can level in, then it becomes the debate of like, oh, as a guild, we really want to level, this military node because we want to get, mayorship, and we want to do these things, and this is how we want to conduct it. And then have another guild that has a completely different agenda. And, all of these kind of things are all going to be kind of colliding with each other. That doesn't exist now, but that is a potential future that Ashes could have. And I think that is a pretty badass future, in my opinion. I hope I hadn't seen them state anything in recent years about the what instance content they may be pursuing. So yeah, there's 20% instance content. And from what Steven has said multiple times is that the instance content is going to be story based. So the actual story of Ashes of Creation. And it could be maybe some server arcs or some story arcs where an instance dungeon becomes available because now a certain story has become unraveled or revealed. So now you can do this dungeon that kind of tells like a certain part of the narrative of Ashes of Creation. That's kind of like how it is. I think that's kind of cool. I mean, we'll see how it is in practice, really. Let me see. Hi, I just joined. Wow, that's some massive patch notes. Yes, it is, Jeff. It's freaking crazy. I mean, right now, I'm not even done with it, but basically there's just a whole bunch of econ artisan changes. Which, let me see, it fixed a few artisan consumables that has secondary artisan stat lines that were too high. Probably some of the food buffs. I knew, and this is what people were getting so worked up on. I'm like, bro, that's going to be changed, man. Like anytime when people get so uptight about numbers, like I tell them, hey, dude, chill. You'll be okay. The fact that they added rowboats, I'm so excited that they added rowboats now. I want to buy a rowboat. Because every time I see like, I've never tried fishing either. And I'm really excited to try sports fishing and see how that is. And if I can just get a boat into one of the rivers or the Riverlands and just chill and just, play that, I think that'd be a lot of fun, personally. I saw some changes also to hunting. So right here, small animals like Grims and Ravens now grant 3 carcass portions when hunting. All other larger animals like otters, wolves will now drop 5 carcass portions when hunting. Interesting. Because I believe it used to be where if you got a Grim or a Raven, it was 5, right? If I'm not mistaken. Okay, well, in my opinion, it kind of implies a 2026 beta, perhaps. It definitely does imply, because, I mean, if you read what Steven said in that Twitter post, is that the team is looking to push to beta next year. Doesn't mean that they will, but they're going to gun for it. So if that means if that statement read more of we're going in beta next year, then that means it's not Q4, right? Because clearly, it's probably going to be in the middle or sometime more sooner, because that's more of a for sure statement. But the fact that they said we're going to try to push towards beta, that means that, it's probably going to be either very late 2026, like December potentially, but it could fall, and get delayed. And believe me, there's been many things in this 1-year alpha that we've experienced that has been delayed. The econ being a huge example of that. We were supposed to get the big econ update in May. That didn't drop until late September. Like literally like very, very like last week of September. So things can definitely be crazy. I am under, he says longer. My bet with Dusty. Master Chief, I don't know why you made a bet with Dusty like that. That's crazy. Ashes of Delay. Yeah. Ashes of Delay, brother. Do you think the 1 to 10 leveling will be too quick? Patch notes say they reduced XP needed to hit level 10. I think it was kind of interesting to me because I honestly thought they were going to do the opposite. Like I really did. Like I thought that the leveling before was actually fine. Going from, in my opinion, going from level 1 to 10 felt very reminiscent to like classic WoW. Like if you ever played classic WoW and went from levels 1 to 10, it felt very similar. But now, I mean, again, 15% reduction, it doesn't make it like so much faster, right? But you can feel it. You can definitely feel it. I really felt like it should have been slower. And I think it's just a matter of feedback. I think it's a matter of, you know, of stressing to the devs why it needs to be slower, what the purpose of it being slower provides. Because there are a lot of quests you can do from 1 to 10, not so much from 10 to 20. So why are you trying to rush people to an exit? And just like the hill just drops, you know, or you're basically leading them at the edge of a mountain. And you're like, okay, well, you leveled 10 now. Good luck. It just like push you off. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand it. Like, I think it would have been better. Like literally have been better to make it a slower experience. I don't think there would be anything wrong with that. Let me see. I love getting home from work and just chopping down a few trees and chill. No rush, no worries. Trees will always be there and it's easy gold. Yeah, no, completely agree with you, Eric. Sorry, I know you said that a while back. But yeah, I just love the whole gathering loop in Ashes. I love the whole, this is why I was so passionate about the processing fees and just like how processing was and also how expensive crafting became, because it was kind of like my Zen, you know, it was kind of like my thing that I love doing. And it just got so expensive. It just like, it forced me to stop because I didn't have the gold to do it. And that's fine. Right. But I feel like gold also was kind of an issue too, in general. Let me see. I want some more intentional gathering. No. Yeah. I think again, there should be, I think certain things as far as gatherers are a little too rare. Like, why does it need to be rare? Like, I know that they want to highlight some rarity, right? Like, okay, like these are very, very common. This one's a little bit more rare, but I feel like when it comes to a lot of the novice stuff, I don't think it needs to be like as rare. You know what I mean? And I feel like especially when it comes to trees, the fact that willow and braidwood are non-existent on the server, and that's more because of the static spawn. Like that needs to change, man. Like, dude, I literally talked to Quartarian Slurp, who's one of the devs. He's actually a part of Econ. And I said, bro, why can't I find a freaking willow or braidwood to save my life in the Riverlands? And he literally responded to me in Discord and says, LOL, get good. Oh my God, these devs, man. Jesus Christ. Let me see. I'd prefer to say I remember level 12 or whatever, and I met so many people and did this and that. Memories of character development. Yeah, dude, I remember, dude, Alpha 1 was such a banger in certain regards. Mixelplex, thank you so much for the sub, brother. Thank you. The support means a lot. And now you don't have to experience ads anymore. Sorry. I feel like phase 1 was so good, man. People were so lively. You would see, I remember riding around on my horse and there was just people talking in say bubbles and just like, hey, like I'm going over here. Like, you know, do you want to come with me? Like, hey, you're a bard or, you know, whatever. Right. Like people were talking and being engaged. Like it was so refreshing to see. And honestly, like every time, especially in launches, you know, or like wipes, and then we go back in, it's always lively in Ashes. That's like one of my favorite parts about this game is the social aspect. The fact that like you really feel a part of like a living world. and it doesn't feel so isolating, right? I think that's just a really, really cool thing. I know our guild is very much like that. When we see a new player, or not a new player, but when we just see a person out in the world and we're grinding mode or whatever, and we have an open spot, we'll literally just like whisper them or say like, hey, you want to join us or whatever, right? Like, you know, like dude, there's so many people that get really appreciative of that. You know what I mean? And I feel like, oh my God, brother, dude, input angle, dude. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Thank you, man. Thank you. Wow. That's a huge 20 subs. Brother, dude, hearts in chat for freaking input, man. Thank you so much, dude. I really, really, really appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you. If input gave you a sub, man, go ahead and give him a thanks, dude. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to put some hearts in chat for him. That was huge, dude. Really, really appreciate that support. I mean, sorry, I got, it just got like, threw me off, man. Threw me off, but I appreciate that. I was going to read something that Tango said, and then you get to all those subs. Let me see. Willow, another resource that have set spawn points. Not hard to find if you get them first. That was not changed with the static change. RIP. In my opinion, all resources should move around and never spawn in the same spot twice. Completely 100%, if not 1,000% agree. I have no idea why Weeping Willow and Braidwood have static placements. Nothing in this game should have static placements. Everything should be constantly moving and changing, especially those two things. I personally don't give a shit if you have static spawns when it comes to oak or anything like that. I get that there's a shit ton of trees in the Riverlands, but for God's sakes, man, please change the freaking locations to Weeping Willow and Braidwood, because that being such an important like an important aspect of processing and crafting. Like, you need, when you hit apprentice, you need, like, if you're going to create anything within the apprentice tier, you need Weeping Willow. Like, that's just now the thing you need all the time. And because you feel like you need it all the time, you think it's very plentiful out in the world, right? Because like every craft requires it. And you're like, oh shit, no, I can't find a damn thing. Well, now you know why. Stone Dragon Balls, dude, thank you so much for the follow, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, that's wild. My hope is that every tree will have a chance at higher quality. I feel like once you get higher in your artisan skill, and once you have a better tool, once you actually equip artisan clothing that are of a certain quality, I 100% agree with you. To me, I want progression when it comes to, you know, you putting in the work to make a better tool to make your artisan clothes. And, you know, choosing, you know, when artisan trees actually do come out, putting in the points of where you want to excel in, 100%. That should show your progression. What I get really upset about is people literally getting legendaries with crew tools and no artisan gear. Like, I agree that that should exist, like 1 out of a million, you know, like, should you be able to earn a legendary on a crew tool? Yeah, for sure. Just extremely rarely, because it's literally a fucking crew tool. Like, it shouldn't be prevalent, in my opinion. But of course, if you start upgrading your tools or whatever, you should have more access to the higher rarity tiers within your gathering. 100%. Let me see, when I heard there was a static spawns, I thought it was supposed to be dynamic, hurt my soul a bit. Well, yeah. And again, stuff will change. You know what I mean? Like, does it suck to experience in the interim? Yeah, absolutely. But a lot of things sucked in the intro, man. I mean, we dealt with, you know, static rarity spawns for almost a year. Like, you know, we didn't really get to experience without that. Let me see, Willow / Braid equals WoW Black Lotus arcane crystals in AOC. So people like me know every single spawn. And there are people who do. I have seen screenshots, like partial screenshots of other guilds that show every single location of like Braidwood or the Weeping Willow, and they know exactly where to go. And there's even some bots in certain guilds, discords, that you put in a command like, hey, I earned this specific braidwood, and it'll have a thing of like notifying it's on a cooldown, and when the cooldown comes up, and it'll alert the guild of like, hey, go and harvest this resource. It's wild. The overlays, dude. Yeah, the overlays were another huge thing, right? That didn't exist. Remember, it didn't exist. It was all fake. Ooh, it was all fake. Let me see. FYI, today is Giving Tuesday. Everyone should donate to their favorite cause. You'll feel amazing helping others. 100%, man. I mean, like I said, for me, children's centers, battered women's shelters. We have a couple here in San Antonio. Anything like that for sure. Oh, sorry, I got like a little emote because of the hype train. Thank you guys. Let me see. I'm trying to go back. Yeah, we had yeah, Tango's guild had all of the maps with different mats and etc. Yeah, I know a lot of guilds did, man. Nemesis, dude, what's going on, brother? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. It's been quite a day, dude. It's been quite a day. But okay, so let's move on. I'm all this now is just kind of procs talking about certain recipe things. I don't see anything particularly like crazy amazing. Okay. I used to live in San Antonio at the naval base. Awesome, man. Yeah, I've lived here now for since 2013. So yeah, it's been a bit, but I love San Antonio, man. San Antonio's, in my opinion, a really great city. You see, once to get angry at our government, I did the math to build 7 BAs, 7 BR homes for homeless veterans. It's not as much as you think. Oh, wow. I am just up the road in Odessa. Oh, that's nice, man. That's, yeah, you're just like, what, a couple hours away from me? That's crazy. Yeah, man. Veterans get such a bum rap with our government, and the fact that we have homeless veterans. I've had a lot of my own family, both my mom's side and my dad's side, that served Navy, Air Force, Marines. It always kind of just breaks my heart to see like veterans struggling, or when I see like, in San Antonio, like we have a couple of like homeless spots, you know, under bridges and stuff like that. And it just like, you know, just to see it, like, I don't know, it just always, and it's not even them too. I mean, there's so many other people too. Like I see like, you know, women with kids that are homeless, you know, and you see their, you know, I don't know. When you become a parent, dude, you just get so emotional about shit like that. Like, you know, because it's like I kind of think to myself of like, you know, making some, you know, bad decisions or even getting with the wrong people. You know, it's crazy, man. Let me see. 1.5 billion will house 30,000 homeless veterans. Yeah, and we send our money to other countries all the time for free. It seems it's crazy. Yeah, I was there in 2014. We have cross paths. Oh, that's crazy, man. Yeah, we may have. I used to go to the bars and sing karaoke. I did that a lot. Let me see, if you ever get a chance to go on an honor flight, it's the most powerful and humbling experience. I was a guardian for my dad in 2018. Wow. No, I've never done that, man. I was actually in ROTC in high school. I was actually debating to go into Air Force or Army. I had all the recruiters wanting to, you know, because when you're in ROTC, I was in there for all 4 years, and they wanted me to go to college, and then you can go right in as an officer. Like I was going to do all that. And I didn't choose to do it because I was so undecided on what I wanted to do in my life. I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do. And it scared me to commit to something because didn't want to regret the decision. But now looking back, I kind of regret not making a decision because I was just so fucking indecisive. But of course, you know, that's how you are when you're a kid, right? Some people knew what they wanted to do in high school. They were so committed and so confident in it. And I was so not. I was so unsure what the hell I wanted to do with my life. And it always bothered me because I felt like, am I supposed to know? Am I supposed to have like a vision, or, you know, see myself doing something? Like, I don't know. Like I love playing Halo. That's all I wanted to do. I was like, man, maybe I can be an MLG team, at which I ended up having my senior year. I actually was in an MLG team for Halo. Check out a video of the honor flight. The airport greets all of the veterans on the flight. It's so powerful. All right, I mean, I'll definitely check that out. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube. I cry probably every other day as a parent now. I'm such a wuss. Dude, it's crazy, man. Whenever you become a dad and you see shit, it's like everything just hits you different now. Your whole emotions are just all freaking all over the place. All right, let's go back and talk about ashes. So items, there's a whole bunch of item fixes. There's brand new models. There's a whole bunch of different, because I know we had very limited models for weapons. So all weapons sort of look the same, but now there's a lot of different visualizations. There's updated models. There's brand new models. And, you know, I really can't wait to see all that stuff in game. And things that's going to be really, really awesome. And then we have settlements. You can see if a character becomes a citizen of a settlement they were previously a citizen of and did not become a citizen of another settlement in the interim, their previous settlement rotation will not be lost. Wow. Excuse me. That's a pretty crazy change. Settlement experience rates have been adjusted. Well, that doesn't really tell me anything. It's adjusted positively, negatively? Have they been buffed, nerfed? Like, what's going on? Added the chronic purifier to the construction house service building. Okay, I have no idea what that is. Let's see, for quest commissions, events, and destinies, fix an issue where object markers would not reappear when a character relogged. Okay, starting each quest line rewards with a different mount item. Interesting. Destiny boards objective rewards have been updated. Fix the Destiny reward boxes to include what they offer in the item tooltip. The map will no longer display Destiny related objective markers. Okay. Change the system message for Destiny objectives to Destiny object complete. Perfect. Good. Now, if only we can get commissions to say that, because I feel like when I'm doing a quest or if I'm doing a commission, I feel like it's just, if it's a quest, it should say quest objective complete. If it's a commission, it says a commission objective complete. Like, so I really hope they freaking add that, because that to me is like annoying. Is like, wait, was that a quest? Was that a commission? Like, because I want to hit J if it is a commission and like complete the commission, right? Like turn it in. So fix starter quest equipment with incorrect stat values, reduce the armor value of starter gear. Interesting, these reduced it. Well, I'm pretty sure because there were some of the boxes that I think were a little too much, but we'll see. Starter gear now has correct armor type set bonus. Fix a typo in the crafting Destiny in the craft an item or rare or better objective. Okay. Let me see. Guild Wars added a 1 hour prep time to Guild Wars. Holy shnikes. That's insane. 1 hour? Bro, well, if you're at a grind spot and you see another guild there, you have to wait an hour. I feel like the whole instance, though, like you initiating a guild war and it just immediately happened, I think was a little unfair personally. Let me see. The 1 hour time is going down to 5 to 10 according to Discord through Steven. Interesting. It's always great to see you, Cheese. Welcome, dude. I've been playing some PTR today and love the changes I've seen. Dude, that's great to hear. And we were talking in our Discord about it too. So if you're saying that, it makes me a really happy camper. Let me see. There was a lot of complaints about the 1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour is a little crazy. I would assume. I think 10 minutes is fine. 5 minutes, in my opinion, is too short. I think 10 to 15 minutes, I think might be a good play. This is what I wish Ashes would do, is like more A/B testing. Like, how does 10 minutes feel? How does 15 minutes feel? And then, give a proper, feedback as to what. People still want their 0 time. Well, of course they want their 0 time. Like, but I feel like that's completely unfair. And you literally catch them with their pants down, right? Like, wouldn't you want them to be somewhat prepared so you can actually have like a fun battle, right? Like an actual PvP thing. Like, and again, yeah, everybody just wants an unfair fight all the time, all the fucking time. Like, it's like, wouldn't you rather have something more fun? Like, hey, they know you want to, like, Guild War initiated 10-minute countdown, and it's like, and if you know that as a guild, you can rally your guild together and come to a spot, because I feel like 10 minutes in the Riverlands is cutting it a little close depending on where your guildies might be. So I think 15 minutes could actually be better, but hey, you know, I I I think I love Guild Wars. I do. I think Guild Wars are a great thing, but I think it comes down to, you know, keeping it, at a fair advantage, right? Because I think, again, catching people with their pants down just isn't fun. Like, if you're out in a POI spot and you have like 10 people in your party, and then there's like a group of 5, you know, and they're really geared or whatever, and then you go and just like initiate a guild war to kill those 5 people, like, bro, really? Like, it's just, again, it's always the degenerates that want that kind of shit. Did you say that we're getting talent reworks? Yes, we are getting talent reworks soonish. Maybe, I would say now, since we're already in December, I think they're probably pushing it to next year, like January of next year. Is not like basically in another month. We should have some kind of class ranks and passives and stuff like that for sure, probably next month. There will be a level requirement to join a guild. I had never did it in the alpha 2 phase. It would be hilarious if there were guild wars breaking out immediately and a new esteemed player saw absolute chaos. Yeah, 100%. So basically, you don't need to be at a certain level to be in a guild, but in order to make a guild, the guild leader needs to be level 10 and have the correct materials to create the guild charter, and then they turn in that charter at a settlement. Once the guild is created, you can invite a level 1 into the guild, but I would say that, yeah, you need to be at least level 10 as a guild leader to initiate the process. I think we see spring class talent reworks and summer the dual class implemented. Nah, I think that's coming way sooner, dude. I really do. I think literally next month, 100%. I mean, maybe, like I said, Dusty's talking to Steven on the 4th. I'm really hoping that Dusty asks some really great questions, because I feel like there's just so many questions that I would love to ask Steven, and I don't know what he's going to ask. There's just so many like home runs he could hit in that interview. So, okay, let's keep going. Just making sure that I got, let me see. Fights are always supposed to be fun when both sides are are at parity rather than being raffle stomped. Yeah, no, I completely agree, Nemesis. If you want the fairest wars, I think a system like New Worlds was good. See, I didn't play New World, dude. I don't understand their systems because I didn't play their systems. But I feel like when it comes to Guild Wars, like I said, Guild Wars have been in since what, phase 2? Or was Guild Wars even in phase 1? I feel like Guild Wars was actually in phase 1. No, it was phase 1. It's been in constant flux. There's been, like I said, changes like in and out or whatever. He said he was going to post the questions in Discord once he decides which ones he's going to ask. Oh, okay, cool. Do you think it releasing to Steam will speed up the development? Quality may be affected. I think the speed will not be affected. I don't even think the quality is going to be the same, personally. I don't think them going to Steam is going to increase their speed or decrease their speed. I think their speed is going to be exactly how it is, in my opinion. I hope Dusty asks how close of a similarity will be to second class system adding to the one in Arcade. Oh, that's a good question. Let me see. So in New World, you once declare war on a territory, it would schedule the war at a given time the next day, giving everyone time to prepare their best. Yeah. I feel like there's settlement wars, which is kind of like what you're referring to. So when you do a settlement war, there is going to be like a prep time, and there will be something done within the prime time hour. I don't think that that's currently how it works right now. But again, there's so much shit that's in flux. There's a lot of it. There needs to be a lot of attention to detail when it comes to like certain things. Why are people telling me to go to Twitch? Am I on the... Okay. Oh, sorry. I was just getting messages. Anyway, let me see. To be honest, having more players can speed up testing for some systems. No, possibly. Like, I just don't know by how much. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel during this whole year, we've given Intrepid a shit ton of feedback on so many systems, probably every single thing, every single system. Intrepid already has the data and they have our feedback. I don't know if they're waiting for more of like a casual's perspective on that system, you know, so then they can kind of make a decision based on that. But I feel like there's just already so much feedback we've given them that we still have not even seen changed yet. We have seen a lot of changes, but there's some stuff that has still kind of been the same. You know what I mean? Like what Tango was talking about earlier about the, you know, static spawns. The static spawns are still there. They've been there. It's been the same. That hasn't changed. And there's been feedback on like getting rid of that, you know? So any system that needs volume stress needs way more players than we can currently have. Well, I think, and this is the other problem too, is the fact that like you shouldn't burn your player base out, because this is a test. Like playing janky systems and unfinished systems, you know, it gets to you. You know what I mean? There's some days you come in and it's just like, oh, this system doesn't work, or, you know, oh, this system, you know, is offline now because I got to fix something. And this is why I think comparing like concurrent numbers doesn't matter, because concurrency in a test, it shouldn't matter. And you shouldn't force your testers to just test every single day and play every single day. Bro, and again, I would implore any new person, if you have not played Ashes of Creation and you play for 2 weeks and you're like, yeah, I think I'm kind of done. Like, and I'll play like maybe when the next major patch comes out or when the next major thing that I'm excited for comes out. But I would really implore anyone, you know, play when you want to. Do not force yourself to play Ashes. Like, we need you as a tester, and I would rather you play it casually and retain you for months on end than you go hardcore balls to the wall and play the entire month and a half, and then you just like, I'm fucking done, and then you don't even come back. I would rather the former than the latter, personally. Haven't played much in months. Yeah, and like I said, if you feel like this particular patch, this 0.18 patch with the harbingers, with all of these like early game changes, with the huge changes to artisanship, and, you know, potentially a lot of other altering systems, then please come back, test for a week, test for a couple of days, you know, whatever the heck you want. But all I'm saying is, like, I just don't want these new people that are going to pay money, or even if you paid for a key, you know, phase 2 key, phase 3 key, it doesn't matter. Don't force yourself to keep playing. Like, if you're not enjoying your testing experience, or if you're kind of, hey, I left feedback on the things that I'm passionate about, the things that I'm excited about, I feel like I don't need to keep playing, then don't. Like, I get super flustered when I hear these YouTubers or whatever, where it's like, I hear them say, I bet you this game on Steam, it's going to go and it's going to be at this number, and then next month it's going to be way down to this number. Who fucking cares, bro? Like, concurrency in a test or even in early access isn't indicative to anything. Like, again, this is why I wanted to find on Steam charts when I looked at New World, because in the beta, when people were testing in beta, the concurrency there was like, I think 10, 20,000. You know, it didn't matter. So what are we talking about here? Oh, 10,000 people playing New World, the game's dead. It launched to over a fucking million players. Like I it's just, to me, it's so baffling talking about fucking concurrency in a test. It's stupid. It's just so stupid. It's just a bunch of EPing about like how your game is going to suffer and your game's going to fail. But my MMO that I love, that I sunk in thousands of hours into, is still better than yours. It's like, okay, bro, get back to your fucking high school shit. I mean, we'll fucking be adults over here. If you plan on playing only Ashes all day, every day for the next few years, this isn't your game. Take a break, come back later when the new patch hits. 100% cheese. Most have considered this entire phase 2 as an early access, or as early access, in my opinion. Some people have. I'm working with how I speak, but I get emotional when talking about the game I enjoy playing. My bad to all the people who get offended by me being passionate about the game a lot. A lot of us like playing. I think once I get down to being more monotoned about my issues, we'll get heard more often. But damn, my point is still the same regardless how I say it. Well, who are you referring to? Most of your points are pretty good. You just need to be tactful in your delivery. Ah, okay. Yeah, and again, it's like anything else, right? Us as gamers, a lot of people are very passionate. When you really find something that clicks with you, that jives with you, you get passionate, and then when people start talking shit about it, it's like you want to defend the thing that you really love. And it's like, you can hear their concerns, right? And the things of like why you hate the game. And you can understand, like, okay, from your perspective, I can understand why you think that. I don't, because I actually like those things, or it's those things of why I actually like this game. We can all have differing opinions, right? We can all have things that we love, hate, whatever about the game. But I think in many ways, there's just a lot of people that want Ashes to die. Like they want Ashes to basically, go away and basically have the genre keep suffering for some reason. I don't know who the fuck wants that, but there are people who do. And I just think that it's stupid. It's childish. It's dumb. And, as someone who really wants this game, but only the game, I want the genre to fucking flourish again. And the only way that could happen is if we start getting MMOs that are like Arc Raiders, that are like, these indie games that come out like Helldivers 2. Imagine, an MMO that comes out that, has the same kind of like flavor of like, those kinds of games, right? And it's not saying flavor, but I'm just trying to say like these games that come out that are just so much fun and it's so refreshing and there isn't an agenda. There isn't any kind of wokeness about it, right? Like it's just a fucking fun game you can play with decent monetization, and that's it. That's it. Like that's all you fucking need. That's all we need as a person. If you love this genre, that's all we need. And if we can't support, companies that are at least trying to break into this fucking genre, which not many people are willing to do, even the big dogs, because you see AGS and you've seen other companies that keep just canceling those projects that choose to go into the more easier route of like a survival game, an extraction shooter, because it's very fucking costly to make an MMO. It's insanely fucking costly. And so I think people don't actually realize that. I mean, you literally have Grand Theft Auto 6 potentially coming out next year. It's already been delayed again, I think, to like Q3 or Q4. And I'm pretty sure that game is over $500 million. Like easy. Like I can realistically see Rockstar spending over $500 million to make GTA 6. Easy, probably even more, to be honest with you. But that game will make over $2 billion. I can guarantee you. If that game comes out for $100, it's making over $2 billion within 48 hours. 100%. 100%. Let me see. The problem is that those people will have something negative to say about any game, is that they don't do it in the constructive manner, but just straight up shitting on it. Like you said, it's just like having the high school mentality. Well, I think in some ways, right? Like you have to make everything emotional and irrational, and that's how you get clicks, right? As a YouTuber, like, we've seen this before. We've seen, like Blue Squadron, or, these people that are just basic doomers. Like you go watch any of their content, everything's bad. All these games are bad. Everything is bad. It's, because it gets clicks. It literally gets clicks. Would a monthly recap be better for updates, etc.? The Terra devs give updates and show what progress has been made. We do. Again, input. If you've never been a part of the Ashes community, Ashes of Creation literally does a monthly live stream, and they've been doing a monthly live stream since 2017. And actually this Friday, they're doing a monthly live stream on the 4th, or not the 4th. What is it? The 5th. They're doing a monthly live stream on the 5th. They're going to be talking about the sports fishing. They're going to be doing a more in-depth show of the Harbingers update, and they're going to be answering, of course, questions and going into other stuff. They're probably going to make more announcements or talk more about the Steam thing and the clarifications of actually everyone going to Steam now. So yeah, there's definitely Q&As. Let me see. The bar is so low that not being political in your game is a positive. It should be a baseline. Bro, hypers, I could not have fucking agree more. And that just goes to show you like the state of the genre right now. Not even just the gaming genre. It's so fucking bad. Let me see. I've always played one game at a time. AOC is my game. Even though WoW looks interesting, I won't purchase it. It's just it's just the way I play. No, yeah, I completely agree. I've been a mono MMO player forever. I literally played WoW and only WoW for 18 years. I'm not joking. I didn't need to play another MMO. WoW scratched every itch I needed. There was never a time where I even considered to play up until about 18 years. And then I played SWTOR, and then I played Final Fantasy 14. Yeah, I played all that stuff. Let me see. Interview with Dusty on the 4th. Yeah. I wish they had gotten rid of sprint before Steam release. Possibly also get rid of stamina and make the roll dodge based off of something else. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, leave that feedback. You know what I mean? Let them know. Let me see. Yup, and billions more through endgame shit. Oh yeah, like I said, just through buying GTA 6, they'll probably make over $2 billion. But don't get me wrong, GTA 5 has made them billions. And they expect to get billions with GTA 6, which is why they are staggering their release when it comes to console and then into PC. Because they're wanting to force players, because they did this again with GTA 5, they want to force the PC people to buy it on console and then rebuy it on PC. That's how they double dip. On top of all the cosmetics you're going to purchase probably with the first console stuff. They're smart. They know what they're doing. We see Dusty has a Q&A on the 4th. Last stream was pretty lacking. Yeah, I feel like last stream, like there was a lot that they, there was a lot that they kind of showed and they talked about and stuff like that. And I feel like really the bulk of it was just about the Steam stuff. And I think the Steam stuff really caught people off guard, because we really didn't know like what this was going to be like. But let me see. Let me finish this up because I am probably going to get off because it's already been over 2 hours. I got to go help with the kids. My 2-year-old has not gone to sleep. I've heard her. Either my wife is doing it or her mom is trying to put her back to sleep. Excuse me. All right. So caravans and ships disable the following effects against vehicles, knockback effects from character abilities, Strider movement speed buff, grapple pull effect. Oh my God. That is huge. Bro, no one's going to want caravans now. If they don't do something for caravans, with this not being in the game, dude, no one's going to run a fucking caravan. Like, I'm so curious what they're planning to do to incentivize caravans because they are literally in the graveyard right now. Caravan component inventory size has been changed to be minimum of 3 and maximum of 8. Interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. I gotta ponder on that more. I really don't know how to feel about that. Is that T Muggsy? What up, brother? Let me see how many people will have 2-day early. Wait. How many people will have 2-day early launch access, and how do you think this will affect others? It won't, because you have to understand when that happens, that server will be labeled as an early access server. So when you're a new player, you don't have to join that server. And and let me just say this, if Intrepid forces you or forces us to play on that server, then that's bullshit. Because I don't want to play on the early access server. I want to play on a brand new fresh server that there is no progression on. And there might be some people who won't care and will go to the early access server. That's fine. But I don't think it'll be too big of a deal. Caravans are gigafast now. It's actually pretty good. Strider would probably break it. Where could I buy your hat? I used to sell these hats. There's people in my chat that actually have them, that have been with me for a while. I don't sell them anymore. So they're kind of like an exclusive Vladis, collector's item at this point. But I will, once I can get back on my feet, next year, because I've been talking to my wife about it, I will reopen my shop because I sold a bunch of hats. Like I sold different colors like red, blue, black, silver, black. I mean, a bunch of them. And I sold that moniker. It's true that dagger / physical speed doesn't help rogue stack poisons, and you should always go 2-handed as rogue. Well, and again, I think with Rogue specifically, like I love dual-handed daggers. I think it feels fucking amazing. The sounds are amazing. Everything is really really good on it. But of course, there needs to be balance, right? And I think balance is always a constant thing we're adjusting, right? It's always something they're looking to do. And could there be more adjustments towards classes more often? Absolutely. But I feel like there's always like this kind of pull and tug of like, what do we do, what do we don't do, kind of thing. But yeah, Tim, if you stick with me and keep watching my content, I will unveil a new store hopefully sometime soon next year, and then you can buy that merch, because I want to redesign it. I want to do a little bit more modern take on this hat, make it a little bit more, make it a little bit better, let me see. Thank you for the sub earlier. Oh yeah, for Angle. Yeah, man. Thank you again, dude. That was really really nice of you. Do they do anything to drops, Flatus? No, I did not see anything in the patch notes regarding drops, but I think the drops when it comes to mobs are still pretty good. Like you can still get some gear from mobs. I don't think it's like terrible, but I think now because of all the stuff you can do with questing now and all of the boxes you get from questing, I think you can pretty much get, and even if honestly, even if like what I was doing, I was getting all the stuff from just the quest rewards. And then I just hit a few like granite, some basalt, and I got some like uncommon rare rubies. And I just literally went and made my jewelry. The only thing I really lacked, I think the last time I leveled my character from 1 to like 8, was a helm and jewelry. That was it. I did actually have like one ring that I got from like a goblin, but I made all my other jewelry, and I made it really no issue because it was super cheap. The materials were there. It was actually really nice. I liked it a lot. Oh my God, wasting time on fishing when there's so much more to fix / work on. Sigh. I feel like there's, again, like I think certain things that people are working on, there's other teams working on other stuff too, right? It's not like everybody in Intrepid is just concentrating on sports fishing. But it is interesting how sports fishing wasn't even on the roadmap at all, not for phase 2 nor 3, but then we just get it out of nowhere all of a sudden. Like, I don't know, it's just kind of interesting. Well, it's more so for the Steel Bloom stuff, Blood Runner, that kind of stuff, because the materials required were insane. Well, I believe all that stuff did get adjusted. The quantity of materials required did get nerfed. So now it requires less materials, which is nice. Weapons are currently irrelevant. They are just stat sticks. Very minimal difference between any weapon except finisher timings. Yeah. No crates are missing pieces, but a large amount will come from them. True. Okay, let me finish this. Sports fishing will now have tool show length and weight on fish along with a turn-in info. Oh, interesting. That's very like Bass sports fishing on PlayStation 1 stuff right there. You get some weight and some length. Let's go. Let's go. All right. A new bridge has been added to Avion's End to help crossing with the river nearby. Interesting. Dude, I used to cross that river all the time. Well, that would be nice. Fixed flickering visuals at entrance to cultist hideout. Okay. Where's the cultist hideout? Okay. Fixed character clipping through columns in Befallen Forge in out of bound area. Remove placeholder environment assets north of Linehold. There was placeholder environment assets north of Linehold. I'm trying to think where that is. This word, Ember Spring placement has been fixed. Yay, we've gone through all the patch notes. Let's go. I got a gut feeling that this team is holding their cards close to the chest and have a lot of things done, but need it tested. I hope so, man. I really freaking hope so. Because I mean, it'd be really nice to get some more stuff down the pipe for sure. Let me see. No crates are missing pieces, but a large amount will come from them. Most gear hasn't seen material. Haven't seen material amount changes, but cost has been reduced by a lot. Might be more number changes to come. Hopefully, like I said, so much stuff is in flux, so much thing that needs to get added. It's kind of nuts. But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get off. I gotta go get my daughter, and she needs to go to bed. It's already almost gonna be 10 o'clock, and she's still up. Which, ugh. All right, guys, thank y'all so much coming by, hanging out. I might stream tomorrow. I'm trying to stream every day. I'm gonna try to stream every day. Time is fluctuative, right? So I will try to stream tomorrow. I don't know if I'll be able to. So just look out for me. Basically, if you see that, YouTube thumbnail upcoming soon, then I will. But if not, then I hopefully will see you on Thursday. Because I would love to come live, hopefully after Dusty's interview. That way I can kind of go over the questions and we can talk about like what Steven said. And I think that'll pose like a really, really good discussion right there. Cause I don't even know if I'll be able to watch his interview live. It just depends on what I have going on over here. You know what I mean? But thank you guys so much for coming out. I really, really appreciate it. I got to go. I got to pee. I got to go with my daughter. Y'all have a great day, great night. I'll see you later. Take care. And thank you all so much for the support earlier, especially you, Angle. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Have a good night.